The mining station floated in the cold silence of space, far away from Earth, far away from any busy trade route. It was a lonely place, where days felt the same and nights never truly came. Ethan Cole, a young engineer, sat in front of his control screen. His job was simple. He checked oxygen levels, he repaired broken machines, and he listened to the endless hum of the station. Nothing ever changed, nothing ever surprised him. But one night, while he was half asleep at his desk, a sound broke the silence. A faint signal appeared on his screen, weak and shaky. It looked like a distress call, but the frequency was strange. It was not human, it was not from any ship he knew. He leaned closer, his eyes wide. "What is this?" he whispered. The signal repeated, soft and broken, almost like a heartbeat lost in static. Nobody else on the station reported anything. No alarms, no alerts. Only Ethan's console caught it. His fingers shook as he ran a scan. The signal came from a dark corner of space near the old asteroid belt. It was dangerous to go there. The rocks were sharp, and ships often broke apart if they flew too close. But the signal was weak, very weak. Whoever was sending it would not survive for long. Ethan hesitated. He knew the rules. If something strange happened, he had to report it to the command office. But something inside him, a quiet voice, told him not to. If the signal was real, someone out there was dying. And if he told the command office, they would most likely ignore it. They cared only about the station's profit, not about unknown lives. He tapped his console again. The signal grew weaker, almost fading. His heart raced. If he waited longer, it would be gone forever. He thought of the endless nights he had, spent here watching stars that never answered back. Was this his chance to finally do something important? Ethan stood, grabbed his jacket, and made his way to the docking bay. His boots echoed in the empty corridor. The station was quiet, as always. He passed his fellow workers, but none looked at him. They were too tired, too bored to care. Inside, the small shuttle, the controls blinked awake. He entered fake coordinates so the station logs would not reveal where he was going. The engines rumbled, soft but strong, and the shuttle slipped away from the station into the black sea of stars. As he flew closer to the asteroid belt, the signal grew clearer. It was not human. It was softer, almost like a whisper, not words, but feelings. It made his chest tighten. He could feel sadness inside the sound, fear and pain. "Who are you?" he said into the comm. But no answer came. Only the weak signal, calling again and again. The asteroids drifted around him like giant shadows. Some spun fast, sharp edges glinting in the distant light. He moved carefully, weaving between them. His hands tight on the controls, sweat rolled down his forehead. Then suddenly he saw it. A small ship, broken and half buried in rock. Its hull cracked, sparks still glowing faintly. It looked too fragile to be human. Its shape was smooth, almost like glass. He felt his breath stop. The signal came from there, from inside the shattered ship. Something alive was waiting, weak and afraid. Ethan's heart pounded. He had found the source. He had found something impossible. Something the station, the command, maybe even Earth itself had never seen. As his shuttle drifted closer, the faint signal whispered again, softer this time, almost like a cry. Ethan swallowed hard. He was alone. He was the only one who knew, the only one who could decide, should he open the alien ship or should he turn back before it was too late? The stars around him stayed silent, waiting for his choice. The broken alien ship floated like a ghost among the asteroids. Its glass-like hull shimmered faintly, cracked and bleeding sparks into the dark. Ethan guided his shuttle closer, his breath sharp, his hands tense on the controls. He parked the shuttle beside the wreck. Magnetic clamps held it steady. Through the small window he could see no movement, no sign of life, only silence. Broken by the soft, repeating signal, Ethan put on his suit, the helmet sealing with a click. His heart thundered in his ears. He had fixed many machines before, but this was not a machine. This was something unknown, something fragile, something that could change everything. The airlock opened with a hiss. He pushed himself into the void, his body floating like a feather. His boots touched the alien hull, Smooth and cold like ice, he placed his hand on a crack, feeling the vibration of weak power still alive inside. With his cutter, he carefully opened a path. The glass-like material was thin but strange. It broke with a soft sound, not like metal but like fragile crystal. He slipped inside, light from his helmet shining through the dark. The air inside was thin, filled with a faint mist that glowed softly. His breath caught. The walls were curved, smooth, alive almost. Symbols glimmered on the panels. Shifting like liquid stars, Ethan had never seen anything so beautiful. Then he froze. In the corner, half hidden by broken wires, something moved. It was small, curled into a trembling shape. Its body was delicate, skin pale and glowing faintly. Like moonlight, its arms were thin, its chest rising and falling weakly. Two large eyes opened, shimmering like liquid silver. The alien looked at him, not with anger, not with fear, but with something softer, something like trust. It tried to lift a hand, shaking, fragile. Ethan's chest tightened. He floated closer, slow, careful. His voice was soft inside the helmet. "I will not hurt you," he whispered. The alien blinked, a tear-like drop sliding from its eye, glowing as it floated in the air. Suddenly the alien whispered, its voice thin, broken, but clear enough. One word, trembling through the silence, danger. Ethan's blood ran cold. He wanted to ask more, but the alien's strength faded. Its hand fell, its eyes closed. The glow around its body dimmed. Panic surged inside him. He could not let it die. Not after he had come so far. Not after he had seen something so fragile, so alive. He scooped the alien into his arms, careful not to harm its delicate frame. It weighed almost nothing, like holding a shadow. He hurried back through the broken hull, his cutter clipped to his belt. Each second felt like a heartbeat stolen. He reached his shuttle, placed the alien gently on the floor. The life support sensors blinked, confused by its strange body. Ethan tore open a med kit, hands trembling. He gave oxygen, adjusted pressure, and watched. The alien's chest rose faintly again, its glow returning slowly. Relief washed over him. He sat back, breath heavy, staring at the fragile creature. It looked so peaceful now, like a child lost in sleep. But the word echoed in his mind. Danger. Why had it said that? Who was the danger meant for? Outside the shuttle window, the asteroids shifted in silence. Shadows moved across their surface. For a moment, Ethan thought he saw a light, far away, blinking like an eye watching him. He shivered. He was no longer alone in this part of space. The alien stirred again, weak, its hand twitching. Ethan leaned close, trying to hear its faint whisper. The silver eyes opened once more, staring deep into his. And in that look, Ethan felt something powerful. Not just fear, not just pain, but a plea for help. And Ethan knew, with a chill in his bones, that by saving this fragile being, he had just stepped into a storm far bigger than himself. The shuttle hummed quietly, the alien breathing faintly, but the silence outside felt heavy, as if the whole universe was holding its breath, waiting for what would come next. The alien rested on the shuttle floor, its glow faint but steady. Ethan watched every breath, afraid it might stop at any moment. He had never seen something so fragile yet so alive. He wanted to protect it, but he also wanted to know the truth. The word danger echoed in his head. He tried speaking to it again, using soft words. Who? Danger? Who is coming? But the alien only closed its silver eyes, too weak to answer. Its body shook like a candle in the wind. Ethan set the shuttle on autopilot back to the mining station. He told himself he would hide the alien until it grew stronger. He could not trust command. He could not trust anyone. If they found this being, they would lock it away, study it, maybe even kill it. As the shuttle neared the station, Ethan noticed something strange. The radar showed faint blips around the asteroid belt, too faint for official sensors, but his shuttle picked them up. Small ships, moving slowly, like predators waiting in the dark. He frowned, tapping the screen. Not pirates, he whispered. Pirates would have attacked already. These ships were patient, silent, hunting something. The alien stirred, its silver eyes flicking open. It saw the screen, saw the faint blips, and its weak voice trembled. They follow, always follow. Ethan froze, his stomach tightened. Who are they? He asked. The alien whispered only one word, broken but heavy. Hunters. Back on the station, the docking bay was quiet. Workers moved slowly, tired from long shifts. Nobody noticed Ethan as he carried a sealed container. Inside was the alien, hidden under blankets, breathing weakly. He reached his small quarters and locked the door. His heart hammered as he unwrapped the blankets. The alien lay still, its glow pulsing faintly. It looked at him with eyes full of fear and trust. I will keep you safe, Ethan whispered. His voice shook. He knew he was breaking every rule, but he did not care. Something inside told him this was the right thing to do. Hours passed. Ethan sat beside the alien, feeding it drops of water, giving it warmth. Slowly, it grew a little stronger. It whispered, broken words, fragments of a story. Its people were peaceful, fragile. They had knowledge, great knowledge, but others wanted to use it for power. The hunters had destroyed its home, searching for a secret only its kind carried. Now the alien was the last one, carrying something precious, something dangerous. Ethan listened, his chest tight. If this was true, then the hunters would never stop. They would search every star until they found it. And now they had followed the signal here. To his station, he stood and checked the station's outer cameras. At first, only stars filled the screen, but then a shadow moved. A ship slid across the black, silent, without lights. It was not a human trade ship, not a pirate vessel. It was sleek, sharp, designed for hunting. Ethan's throat went dry. The alien was right. The hunters had already arrived. A sudden knock at his door made him jump. His heart nearly stopped. He quickly covered the alien with blankets and opened a crack in the door. A fellow worker stood there, eyes narrow. Cole, command says your shuttle took a strange path, the man said. You weren't where you said you'd be. Ethan forced a smile. System glitch. He lied. Navigation always acts strange. Near the asteroids. The man did not look convinced. His eyes flicked toward the room. You hiding something? He asked, voice sharp. Ethan's pulse raced. He wanted to slam the door, but that would only bring more suspicion. He kept his voice calm. Just tired, he said. Need sleep? The man stared at him for a long moment, then nodded slowly, and walked away. Ethan closed the door quickly, locking it again. He turned back to the alien. Its silver eyes were open, watching him. It whispered faintly, They are close. Ethan pressed his hand against the wall, breathing hard. He knew now that the hunters were not far. They were here, circling, waiting, and worst of all, someone on the station already suspected him. The game had begun, and the fragile life he had saved might soon bring death to them all. The alien lay hidden under Ethan's blanket, its faint glow pulsing softly like a weak heartbeat. Ethan sat beside it, his mind torn between fear and determination. He had made his choice. He would protect this fragile being, no matter the risk. But the station was not safe. The hunters were out there watching, waiting. And now, one of his own co-workers already suspected him. One wrong move, and command would know everything. Ethan leaned close to the alien, speaking softly. You need strength, food, warmth, he said. His words felt clumsy, but the alien's silver eyes blinked slowly, showing it understood. He searched through his supplies. Most human food was heavy, too strong for such a delicate body. After trying many things, he found soft water gel packs. He squeezed one gently, letting drops fall onto the alien's lips. The alien swallowed weakly, then whispered a word. Safe. Its voice was soft, almost musical. For a moment, Ethan felt hope. He was giving it life again, but every kindness he gave was also a danger. Each time he left his quarters, he feared someone would notice the glow under his blanket. Each time he carried water, he worried someone would ask questions. One evening, while returning with supplies, he saw two guards near his door. They were scanning the hall, checking doors, talking in low voices. Ethan's chest tightened. He turned the corner quickly, forcing himself to look casual. His mind screamed, were they already searching for him? He waited until they left, then rushed inside. The alien was awake, its silver eyes full of fear. Ethan knelt beside it, whispering, "They cannot find you. I will not let them." The alien raised a trembling hand, touching his wrist gently. Its glow grew a little brighter, as if his promise gave it strength. That night, Ethan dreamed of shadows. He saw the hunters' ships circling the station, silent like wolves. He saw command officers dragging the alien away. Lifeless in their cold hands, he woke with sweat on his face, his heart pounding. Days passed, and slowly the alien grew stronger. It could sit up now. It could drink water without help. Sometimes it whispered broken words of its story. Ethan listened carefully, piecing the fragments together. Its people were not fighters. They built no armies, they built no weapons. But they carried knowledge, knowledge powerful enough to shape worlds. The hunters wanted this knowledge. They would kill every last one of its kind to take it. Ethan's stomach turned. The alien was the last survivor, and now it was in his care. If command learned of this, they would not see kindness. They would see profit. They would sell the alien, study it, break it apart. Ethan stared out the window of his quarters, watching stars drift by. His chest tightened with anger. Was this what humanity had become? A race that only cared for gain, not for life. One evening, as he helped the alien drink, it spoke again. "Why?" it asked, its voice weak but clear. Ethan frowned. "Why what?" The alien's silver eyes blinked. "Why help me?" Ethan sat back, silent for a long moment. He thought of his lonely nights, his boring routines, his feeling that nothing he did mattered. He thought of the moment he first heard the fragile signal, alone in the dark. Finally, he whispered, "Because no one else would." The alien looked at him, and for the first time it smiled. A soft, glowing smile that filled the small room with warmth, but the moment broke quickly. A warning light blinked on Ethan's console. An external scan had been ordered by command. All quarters were being checked for unusual heat signatures. Panic surged in his chest. He looked at the alien, then at the blinking light. His kindness had reached its limit. If he wanted to save the alien, he would have to act now. He would have to risk everything. Ethan grabbed the blanket, covering the alien once more. He whispered, "Stay silent. Stay still." His heart hammered as footsteps echoed in the corridor. The guards were coming, and Ethan knew this was only the beginning of the danger his kindness had awakened. The sound of boots echoed in the hallway, closer, heavier. Ethan pressed his back against the door, his heart racing. The alien lay hidden under the blanket, glowing faintly. If the guards searched his room, it would all be over. A sharp knock rattled the door. "Engineer Cole, open up," a voice commanded. Ethan forced his breathing to slow. He unlocked the door, keeping his face calm. Two guards stepped inside, scanners in their hands. Their eyes swept the room, cold and suspicious. "Routine check," one guard said, raising the scanner. A red beam swept across the room, moving over the walls, the bed, the console. Ethan stood perfectly still, praying the alien would not move. The scanner beeped. The guard frowned. "Strange heat source," he muttered. His eyes narrowed toward the corner of the bed. Ethan's stomach dropped before the guard could step closer. Ethan forced a laugh. "Yeah, I've been running extra systems for my console," he said. "The wiring here is always faulty. Throws off heat readings." The guard looked at him unconvinced, but after a tense moment he shrugged. "Fix it," he said flatly. Then the two left, the door hissing shut behind them. Ethan collapsed to his knees. Sweat dripping down his face, he pulled back the blanket. The alien's silver eyes looked at him, wide with fear. "That was too close," Ethan whispered. He knew this could not go on forever. Sooner or later, someone would discover the truth. That night, as the station slept, the alien spoke again, its voice weak but steady. "You must know." Ethan leaned closer, listening carefully. The alien placed its trembling hand against his arm. A faint glow spread from its skin, filling the room with soft light. Images formed in Ethan's mind, not words, but memories. He saw a world of crystal cities, shining rivers, skies filled with silver light. He saw gentle beings walking peacefully, their bodies glowing softly like stars. He felt their kindness, their wisdom, their harmony. Then darkness fell. Ships tore through the skies, sharp and merciless. The hunters, they destroyed everything. They burned the cities. They hunted the glowing beings like prey. The alien's hand shook, its voice trembling. We carried knowledge, too much knowledge, a secret, a power. It could heal worlds and or end them. Its eyes filled with pain. Hunters want it. Humans too, maybe. Ethan's breath caught. He whispered, "What power?" The alien closed its eyes, whispering, "A weapon, hidden inside memory, hidden inside me." Ethan froze. The truth struck him like a blade. This fragile being was not just a survivor. It was the keeper of something far greater. The hunters were not after just a life. They were after a secret that could decide the fate of galaxies. The alien's silver eyes opened, gazing deep into his. "If they take me, worlds will burn," it whispered. "But if you protect me, maybe hope." Ethan sat back, his chest heavy. He had thought he was only saving a life. But now he understood. He was protecting a secret that could either save or destroy humanity itself. He ran a hand through his hair, staring at the stars outside the window. He whispered to himself, "What have I done?" The alien's glow dimmed, its strength fading again, but its eyes never left his. They were filled with trust, fragile but unshakable. At that moment, Ethan made his choice. He could not betray this trust. He could not hand the alien to command. He would protect it, even if it meant standing against his own people. A sudden noise broke his thoughts. His console blinked with a priority message from command. "Report to control deck immediately," it read. His blood turned cold. They knew something. They suspected him. Ethan looked back at the alien. "Stay hidden," he whispered. His voice shook. He stepped out into the hallway, trying to steady his breath. As he walked toward the control deck, shadows seemed to follow him. Every face he passed looked sharper, suspicious. The weight of the alien's secret burned in his mind. He had saved a fragile life, but now that life carried the fate of two worlds, and humanity might not be ready for the truth. Ethan walked into the control deck, the bright lights burning his tired eyes. Officers stood around glowing screens, voices sharp and hurried. The commander, a tall man with iron-gray hair, turned toward him, his gaze cold. "Cole," the commander said, "your shuttle logs show unusual movements near the asteroid belt." His words were like blades cutting through the silence. "Explain," Ethan swallowed, his palms sweating. He forced his voice steady. "Navigation glitch," he said. "The asteroids confused sensors. My shuttle picked up false paths." The commander stared at him, long and hard. Then he turned to another officer. "Run another sweep on his logs." The officer nodded, tapping. At the console, Ethan's chest tightened. He knew the truth would not stay hidden forever. If they dug deeper, they would find out. The meeting ended quickly, but not before the commander gave Ethan one last look. "Stay available," he ordered. Ethan nodded and left, his legs heavy. As he walked the silent corridor back to his quarters, he noticed someone watching him from the shadows. A fellow engineer, Marcus, a man with sharp eyes and a sly grin. Ethan's stomach turned. Marcus had always been curious, always listening where he should not. "Strange times, Cole," Marcus said, stepping out. "Strange flights, too." His eyes glinted. "You found something, didn't you?" Ethan forced a laugh. "Only rocks," he said, trying to walk past. But Marcus moved closer, whispering, "You can't hide it from me. I saw the heat readings. I know you're keeping something in your quarters." Cold fear gripped Ethan's chest. "You're wrong," he said quickly. But Marcus only smirked. "Don't worry, I won't tell command." His grin widened. "Not if you share it with me." Ethan's fists clenched. He wanted to punch Marcus, to silence him. But he couldn't. Not here. Not now. He forced himself to walk away, Marcus's laughter echoing in the corridor like poison. Back in his room, Ethan closed the door. His heart hammered as he uncovered the alien. Its silver eyes searched his face, sensing his fear. They suspect, Ethan whispered. One of them knows. The alien reached for his hand, weak but steady. Its voice trembled. Trust. Few. Danger close. Hours passed, Ethan sat in silence. His mind raced. Marcus was greedy. He would not stay silent for long. He would betray him, sell the secret to command, or worse, to the hunters themselves. The next day, alarms blared through the station. A sector had been breached. A supply ship reported strange activity outside the asteroid belt. Command scrambled fighters to investigate. Ethan checked his console. His blood ran cold. The hunters' ships were closer now, circling like wolves, still waiting, still watching. And then came the final blow. Command announced a full security sweep of the crew quarters, Marcus had reported. Suspicious activity. Accusing Ethan of hiding stolen goods, Ethan's world tilted. His secret was no longer safe. The alien's silver eyes filled with fear as the announcement echoed through the halls. Ethan grabbed the blanket, wrapping it tight around the fragile body. You trusted me, he whispered, and I will not fail you. His mind burned with a single thought. He could not stay. He had to escape. Footsteps thundered in the corridor, guards moving closer, Marcus's voice laughing among them. Ethan's jaw clenched. He looked at the alien, then at the narrow vent at the back of his quarters. It was a risky path, but it was the only way. He crawled into the vent, carrying the alien close. The metal creaked under his weight. Sweat dripped down his face. Behind him, the sound of boots grew louder. The guards were breaking down his door. The alien pressed its glowing hand to his chest, whispering, "Run." Its voice gave him strength. His fear sharpened into determination. He crawled faster, every scrape of metal sounding like thunder. Finally, he dropped into a dark service tunnel. The air was cold, filled with the hum of the station's heart. He could hear the guards shouting. In his quarters, Marcus's voice yelling louder, accusing him, betraying him. Ethan held the alien tighter, whispering, "They will not take you." In the shadows of the station, hunted by his own people, betrayed by greed, Ethan realized there was no turning back. His kindness had placed him on the edge of war, and now every step forward was a step deeper into the storm. The service tunnel was dark and narrow. Metal walls pressed close on both sides. Ethan crawled through with the alien in his arms. The hum of the station filled the silence, heavy and endless. Behind him, the sound of boots thundered through the corridors. Shouts echoed, Marcus's voice sharp with triumph. "He's in here, find him." Ethan's jaw tightened. His breath came fast, but his grip on the fragile alien never wavered. The alien's silver eyes glowed faintly in the dark. Its voice was soft, trembling. "They come. They hunt," Ethan whispered back. "I know, but I will not let them take you." His words were shaky but filled with fire. He reached a hatch and forced it open, dropping into a storage bay. Crates floated in zero gravity, the air heavy with dust. Ethan moved quickly, weaving between them. He knew the station better than most. He knew where the small ships were kept. Alarms blared across the station. Flashing red lights painted the halls. "Security breach," a cold voice announced. Over the comms. "All crew remain in quarters, intruder at large." Ethan almost laughed bitterly. He was no intruder, he was one of them, but now he was hunted like prey. He reached the docking bay, heart pounding. The hangar was filled with ships, most too large, too obvious. But in the far corner, a small scout vessel floated, perfect for slipping away unseen. As he carried the alien toward it, the bay doors hissed open. Guards stormed inside, rifles raised. Marcus walked behind them, his grin wide and cruel. "I told you," Marcus shouted. "He has something valuable." Ethan's pulse raced. He ducked behind a crate, bullets sparking across the floor. The alien whimpered, its glow flickering. Ethan whispered, "Hold on. Just a little longer." He pulled a smoke canister from his belt and hurled it. A thick cloud filled the bay. Guards coughed and shouted, firing blindly. Ethan ran, his legs burning, his lungs screaming. He reached the scout vessel and slammed his hand against the hatch. It opened with a hiss. He climbed inside, sealing the hatch just as the smoke cleared. The guards saw him, their rifles raised. Marcus's voice roared, "Shoot him down!" But Ethan was faster. His hands flew across the controls, engines roared to life, the scout vessel shot forward, blasting through the bay doors into the endless night of space. The stars stretched around him. The station shrank behind. Guards scrambled to launch pursuit ships. Marcus's voice echoed over the comms, "He won't get far." Ethan's ship shook violently as laser fire lit up the black. He swerved hard, weaving through asteroid fragments. The alien clung to him weakly, its faint glow flickering. The chase grew fierce, hunters and humans both closing in. Ethan's jaw clenched. Not today. He growled. He guided the scout vessel into the asteroid belt. Sharp rocks spun like blades. Shadows swallowed the ship. Behind him, pursuit ships followed. One clipped an asteroid and exploded, fire blooming in silence. The others pushed harder, their beams cut through the dark, but Ethan knew the paths. He had studied these rocks for years. He twisted, ducked, skimmed past razor edges. Still, the alien was weakening. Its body shivered, its glow dimmed. Ethan risked a glance. Fear clawed at him. The chase was killing it. "Stay with me," Ethan whispered. "You're stronger than you think." The alien's silver eyes opened faintly, its voice cracked like a whisper of wind. "Too weak. Cannot." Ethan's chest burned. He pushed the engines harder. His ship rattled under the strain. Sweat stung his eyes. The hunters' ships loomed in the distance, shadows with sharp teeth, waiting for their moment. Finally, Ethan spotted a narrow crack. Between two massive asteroids, a hidden path he had discovered years ago. He angled the ship sharply, sliding through. Rocks scraped the hull, alarms blared, but they made it through. The larger ships could not follow. Silence returned, broken only by the hum of the engines and Ethan's heavy breathing. He checked the sensors. The pursuers were gone. For now, he looked at the alien. Its glow was faint, its breathing shallow. Ethan's heart clenched. He touched its fragile hand, whispering, "I will not lose you, not after everything." But in the darkness outside, the hunters still lingered, patient and merciless, and Ethan knew this escape was only the first of many battles to come. The scout vessel drifted deeper, into the asteroid belt. The engines hummed softly, but inside the small cabin, silence pressed heavy. The alien lay weak on the floor, its silver glow fading with every breath. Ethan knelt beside it, fear twisting inside his chest. "You're going to be all right," he whispered. His hands shook as he adjusted the oxygen levels. He tried giving more pressure, more warmth, anything that might help. The sensors blinked red, warning that the alien's fragile body could not handle human settings. The alien's eyes opened slightly, shimmering silver but faint. "Too heavy," it whispered. Ethan froze. Then he realized the human systems were crushing it slowly. He quickly lowered the pressure, adjusted the air to something lighter, softer. The glow in its skin flickered brighter for a moment. Relief washed through him, but fear still gnawed. How long could he keep it alive in a ship built for humans? He pressed his forehead against the cold wall, whispering, "You're too fragile for this place." The alien raised a trembling hand, touching his arm. Its voice was faint but steady. "Not fragile, only different." Ethan looked at it, his chest tightening. There was strength in those words, hidden beneath weakness. Suddenly, alarms blared. The radar lit up with red marks. Ethan's heart jumped. He scrambled to the controls. Outside the asteroid belt, a dark shape loomed, hunters' ships sharp and silent, waiting like wolves at the edge of the rocks. "They're still here?" Ethan muttered. He clenched his jaw. He could not stay hidden forever. But the alien was too weak. To run again, he faced a choice, fight or risk losing everything. The alien's silver eyes opened wider, glowing faintly. "They will not stop," it whispered. "They will follow. Until end." Ethan turned back, his eyes burning with determination. "Then we make them stop," he said. His voice was steady now. He began preparing the ship, overriding safety limits, arming the small defense cannons. The scout vessel was not built for war, but Ethan had fixed its systems many times. He knew how to push it beyond the limits. The alien tried to sit up, its body shaking. "No fight," it whispered. "Not survive." Ethan knelt beside it, his voice firm. "We don't need to win. We just need to live." The hunters moved closer, 3 ships sliding like shadows. Through the dark, their lights cut across the asteroid, searching. Ethan gripped the controls, sweat running down his face. He waited until the first ship drew near, then fired. Blinding light flashed, rocks shattered. One hunter ship spun off course, crashing into an asteroid. The other 2 swerved sharply, lasers cutting through the dark. Ethan twisted the vessel, weaving between spinning rocks. The cabin shook, alarm screamed, the alien clung to the seat, its silver glow trembling. It whispered softly, "Why risk so much?" Ethan didn't look back. His hands moved fast, his voice steady. "Because you trusted me." Another blast rocked the ship. Panels sparked, a warning flashed red. "Hull breach detected." Ethan cursed, forcing the engines harder. He ducked behind a massive asteroid, using its shadow for cover. For a long moment, silence returned. Ethan's breath came heavy. He glanced back at the alien. Its eyes were locked on him, filled with something more than fear, something like belief. Ethan sat down beside it, his chest heaving. "You're right," he whispered. "I can't fight them forever, but I can keep you safe, I swear it." The alien leaned weakly against him. Its glow warmed his chest. For the first time, Ethan felt something strange. Not just duty, not just kindness, but a bond. A bond that stretched beyond human and alien, beyond fear and survival. The alien whispered faintly, almost like a secret. "Your kindness, stronger than weapon." Ethan held it closer, his jaw set. "Then we will use it. Together." But outside, the hunters still circled, patient and merciless, waiting for their chance. And Ethan knew this fragile bond was about to be tested harder than ever before. The scout vessel floated in the shadow of a giant asteroid. Its hull was scarred, its systems groaning. Inside, Ethan sat at the controls, his face pale with exhaustion. Behind him, the alien lay weak but alive, its faint glow pulsing slowly. For a moment, there was silence. Then the radar lit up again. Dozens of red marks appeared, moving like a swarm. The hunters had arrived in full. Their fleet was massive, sharp ships sliding together in the dark. Ethan's stomach twisted, he whispered, "So many." His hands clenched around the controls. He knew a single scout vessel could not face them, yet he also knew there was no turning back. The alien stirred, its silver eyes opening. It saw the screen and whispered, "They come. For me." Ethan turned, his jaw tight. "Then we make them regret it." He pushed the engines, guiding the vessel into open space. The hunters spotted him instantly. Beams of light shot across the black. Rocks exploded into shards. Ethan swerved, sharply, his ship groaning with each turn. The alien gripped the seat, trembling. Its voice was faint but firm. "Not fight alone." Ethan glanced at it, confused. Then suddenly his console flickered. Strange symbols appeared. Glowing silver. Ethan blinked. "What is this?" The alien's eyes shone brighter. "Our knowledge," it whispered. "I share with you." The console lit up with new maps, new paths, hidden currents of gravity. Ethan's eyes widened. It was as if the alien was showing him the secret veins of space itself. He pulled the controls, and the vessel slipped through impossible turns. Hunters' lasers missing by inches. One enemy ship chased close. Ethan fired back. A blast tore through its hull, sending it spinning. The alien closed, its eyes whispering softly, guiding him. Each word painted a new path, a way to survive. But the hunters were relentless. More ships closed in, surrounding them. Ethan's chest tightened. He could not outfly them forever. Then the alien placed its glowing hand on the console. A wave of light surged through the systems. Ethan felt it in his bones. The ship responded faster, sharper, almost alive. He gasped. "You're linked to it." The alien's voice trembled. "Together, stronger." Ethan pushed forward, the ship weaving like lightning. He struck again and again, blasting hunters into pieces, but still more came. They were endless. Finally, the lead hunter ship hailed him. A cold voice filled the cabin. "Human, vessel, surrender the life form or be destroyed." Ethan's hands shook. Sweat dripped from his face. He looked at the alien. Its silver eyes stared back, filled with fear but also trust. He opened the comm, his voice steady. "This being is under my protection," the voice replied, sharp and cruel. "You protect a weapon, not a life. Do you even know what you carry?" Ethan's jaw clenched. He glanced at the alien. "I don't care," he said firmly. "Whatever it carries, it is alive, and I will not betray it." Silence followed. Then the hunters laughed, a cold, echoing sound. "Then you will die with it." Their ships closed in, beams charging. Ethan's chest tightened. He thought it was the end, but then another light filled the darkness. Ships appeared behind him, fragile and shimmering, not hunters, not human, but alien. Their hulls glowed, silver, delicate yet powerful. The alien gasped, its eyes wide with wonder. "My people," it whispered. Ethan's mouth fell open. He had thought they were gone, destroyed. Yet here they were, survivors, returning. A calm voice filled the comm, soft but strong. "Human, you chose kindness. Now stand with us and truth will be revealed." The hunters hesitated, their swarm breaking apart. The fragile fleet of silver ships shone brighter. Their presence alone shifted the balance. Ethan felt his chest tighten with hope. The battle was not just about survival anymore. It was about truth, about proving whether kindness was stronger than fear. And as the fleets faced each other in the endless dark, Ethan knew the next moments would decide the fate of more than one world. The battlefield stretched wide and endless. On one side, the hunters' fleet hung in the dark, sharp and merciless. On the other, the fragile silver ships of the alien survivors glowed like stars. Between them, Ethan's tiny scout vessel drifted, holding the fragile life that had started it all. Ethan stared at the sight. His chest rose and fell in awe. He had never imagined this moment. The alien in his arms trembled with emotion, silver eyes wide. "Not gone," it whispered. "My people, still alive." The comm crackled. A cold hunter voice cut through. "This changes nothing, the weapon is ours." The alien ships answered, their voices soft but steady. "We will not let you take what is left of us." The two fleets faced, each other silent, waiting. Ethan felt the weight of the moment. Humanity was not yet part of this battle, but through him, they were watching. He realized he was no longer just protecting a life. He was representing all mankind. The alien leader spoke again, their ship glowing brighter than the rest. "Human Ethan Cole," the voice said, "you chose to save one of us, when you could have ignored. Why?" Ethan's throat tightened. He glanced at the fragile alien beside him, then spoke. "Because it was right. Because life should not be thrown away, no matter how fragile." His voice shook but carried through the comm. The hunters laughed, their voices cold. "Humans pretend at kindness, but they are greedy like us. Give them this being and they will turn it into a weapon." The words stung Ethan, because part of him knew it could be true. The alien leader's voice was calm. "Then, let the human prove himself. If he stands with us now, we will believe. If he betrays, then he is the same as you." Ethan's chest tightened. He felt the weight of two worlds pressing on his shoulders. His choice would not only decide his life, but the fate of humanity's future with this fragile race. The hunters broke the silence. "Enough talk. If you stand against us, you die." Their ships moved forward, weapons charging. Ethan gripped the controls, his voice steady now. "Then I stand with them." The alien beside him touched his hand. Its glow pulsing stronger. The battle erupted, blinding beams of light tore across the dark. Asteroids shattered into dust. Alien ships danced with grace, moving like flowing rivers. Their weapons glowed silver, striking with precision. The hunters answered with brutal force, tearing space with fire. Ethan's small scout vessel weaved between the chaos, guided by both instinct and the alien's whispers. Every move was a gamble, every second survival. His ship fired, striking at the hunters, forcing them back. But the hunters were endless, wave after wave pressing forward. Their dark ships moved like blades cutting deeper. The alien fleet began to falter, their fragile hulls cracking, their lights dimming. Ethan's heart pounded. He could not let them fall, not after they had returned, not after their hope had sparked again. He opened the comm, shouting, "Hold together. Don't give them what they want." The alien leader's voice rose, filled with calm strength. "Human is right. Kindness is stronger than fear. We fight not for power, but for life." Their words carried across the fleet. Silver ships glowed, brighter. Their unity shone through the dark. The hunters faltered, their cold certainty shaken by something they could not understand. Still, the battle raged. Ethan's ship was struck. Alarms blared. Sparks flew across the cabin. The alien cried out, its glow dimming again. Ethan grabbed its hand, whispering, "Stay with me. We're almost there." The alien's silver eyes locked on his, whispering one word, "Together." Its glow spread into the controls once more. The ship surged forward with new strength, faster, sharper. Ethan guided it through the chaos, striking at the hunter's BS lead ship. A blast tore across its hull, sending shockwaves through the fleet. For the first time, the hunters pulled back. The battlefield fell silent. Only drifting wreckage remained. The fragile silver ships glowed softly. Alive but scarred, Ethan's chest heaved with relief. The alien leader's voice spoke once more. "Human Ethan Cole, today you stood with us. Today you showed that kindness can live even in your kind." The rock's fragile alien beside him leaned against his shoulder, whispering, "You saved more than me." But deep inside, Ethan knew the war was not over. The hunters would return. Humanity would learn of this. And when two worlds collided, the truth of kindness would be tested again. The battlefield had fallen quiet. Shattered ships drifted like broken bones in the dark. The hunters pulled back, their fleet retreating into the endless black. The fragile silver ships of the alien survivors glowed faintly, scarred but alive. Inside, his scout vessel, Ethan sat in silence, his hands trembling over the controls. The alien beside him leaned weakly against his arm, its silver eyes soft with relief. Together they had survived, but Ethan knew this was not the end. A voice filled the calm but strong. "Human Ethan Cole, your choice today has changed everything." It was the alien leader, their ship shining brighter than the rest. "You saved one of us. You stood against the hunters, but now comes the greater test." Ethan frowned, his chest tight. "What test?" he asked. The alien leader's voice grew heavier. "We will meet with your people. Humanity must prove if it is worthy of trust or if it is another danger to us." Ethan's throat tightened. He had always feared this moment. He knew humanity's flaws, its greed, its hunger for power. He had seen how command treated even their own. If they learned about the fragile race, would they welcome them, or would they exploit them? The fragile alien in his arms whispered, "Kindness must win." Ethan looked at it, his jaw firm. "Then I'll make sure it does." Days later, Earth received the message. The alien fleet had made contact. Their leaders demanded a meeting with human representatives, and Ethan Cole was chosen to speak. The great hall was filled with tension. Humans sat on one side, their faces sharp, calculating. The fragile aliens floated on the other, their bodies glowing softly, delicate but unshaken. Between them, Ethan stood alone. The commander who once accused him whispered harshly, "Cole, remember your place. Say only what we tell you." Ethan ignored him. His eyes moved toward the alien survivors, their silver gazes filled with both hope and fear. The alien leader spoke first. "We have seen your kind, greedy and cruel, but we have also seen kindness. One human chose life over power. Will humanity do the same? The human officials shifted uneasily. Some whispered about weapons, others about profit. Ethan's chest burned with anger. He stepped forward, his voice strong. You're right, humanity is greedy, humanity is flawed. But we are also capable of kindness, of compassion. I know because I felt it. The hall fell silent. All eyes turned to him. He raised his hand toward the fragile alien beside him. I saved this being not because of what it carried, but because it was alive, because it trusted me. That trust is worth more than any weapon. The alien leader's silver gaze locked onto him, searching for truth. After a long silence, they spoke softly. Your words carry weight, but words are not enough. Your actions will decide. Then in front of everyone, the fragile alien Ethan had saved stepped forward, its voice trembling but strong. I trust him. He gave me water, warmth, safety. He chose kindness when others chose fear. The hall stirred. Humans looked at each other uneasy. The commander's face hardened, but he said nothing. Finally, the alien leader spoke. Then let it be so. We will share knowledge with humanity, not of weapons, but of healing. We will stand together, not as enemies, but as allies. A wave of light filled the hall as the fragile aliens bowed their glowing heads. Ethan felt his chest loosen. His choice, his small act of kindness, had changed the path of two worlds. But deep in the shadows, not all humans were pleased. Some whispered of power, some plotted already, and far away in the dark, the hunters licked their wounds. Waiting, Ethan stood tall, knowing the road ahead would not be easy. But for now there was peace, fragile but real, and it had all begun with a simple choice. The choice to show kindness, and that kindness had changed the fate of two worlds.